What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another review for Monday Night Raw Retro. Today we are doing the June 21st, 1993 edition, and this is actually one of the most anticipated Raw in weeks. We are going to be seeing the rematch between Razor Ramon and the 1-2-3 Kid. We are at the Poughkeepsie Center tonight because this match needs a bigger venue. The night gets off to a surprising start where we see the Steiner brothers come out with the WWF Tag Team Championships. Not exactly sure where this happened, but I'm not going to complain. I hope this means they're going to be on TV more. Vince does say that they won the belts last Saturday from Money Inc. I still don't know what show it was, but again, I am not going to argue with anyone. So, they have a jobber match here. They get a win after Scott hits the Frankensteiner. And he did fuck it up a little bit, but it still looked like it would kill you the way that the other guy sold it. So, good on him, I guess. Next up, we have Doink the Clown coming out in a unicycle to face Marty Jannetty in a 2 out of 3 falls match, because if you recall from last week's episode, their match ended in a double countout. Doink tries to get Jannetty to hit him with a closed fist punch, but the referee tells him that he shouldn't because he will disqualify him. Then they go into a crisscross sequence, but Marty stops and Doink keeps hitting the ropes. The crowd liked that spot because it made Doink look like a clown. Well, more of a clown than he already is. Doink is able to get the first fall with a sitting dive from the top rope. Again, this is like the Finn Balor's coup de grace, but he lands on his ass instead of stomping on the chest with his feet, if that makes any sense. Or like a bonsai drop, but facing the other way, and from the top rope. I do hope that you guys watch the episodes that I'm reviewing, so you guys kind of know what I'm talking about. Then Marty hits the super kick, but Doink gets the foot on the rope. Then he is able to get the tying fall when he hits a flying fist from the top rope. Doink starts to work on the leg by wrapping it around the ring post a couple of times, and then putting Marty in the figure 4. At the time, there was no such thing as a tap out, and Marty Jannetty does it multiple times, slapping on the mat, but it doesn't obviously end the match, so it keeps going. He does end up reversing it and gets out of it, but the damage is done to the legs. Doink, the submission specialist out of nowhere, locks in a single leg Boston Crab into an STF, continuing to work on the leg. Marty then starts to work on Doink in the corner, but then another Doink comes out and goes under the ring. Marty goes to check, but gets a baseball slide to the head by Doink from the inside. By the real Doink. By the first Doink that came out, I guess. Marty makes a mistake by dropkicking Doink, so he falls to the outside. Then he goes under the ring. Marty tries to outsmart him by waiting for him on the opposite side, but the original Doink comes from behind and gives him a blindside attack. They shoulder block each other, and this time Doink goes under the ring and changes places with the other one. The new Doink comes in and goes for the cover, but Marty Jannetty kicks out. The fresh Doink picks up Jannetty for the pile driver and hits it for the win. Alright, see if you can follow this sequence that I'm about to tell you. Randy Savage then jumps into the ring, pulls out the other Doink from under the ring, I guess, and throws him back inside of the ring. The way that the commentary table was, it was on one side, and he jumped in the ring, went to the outside, pulled whatever Doink was under there, got him out, put him back in the ring. If that makes any sense. Again, I hope you guys are watching these episodes with me. The referee sees it and reverses the decision, awarding the last fall to Marty Jannetty via DQ, meaning that Marty wins the match 2 falls to 1. I mean, to say this match wasn't enjoyable will be a complete lie by me. And after this match, seeing how fun it was, I was like, you know what? That Racer and Kid match, it all depended on that match. We might be getting another great episode. And starting it off with this, it actually started with the Steiners being introduced as the new tag team champions. And then we get this match. And then what the main event is going to be, 1-2-3 Kid and Razor Ramon. This episode had the recipe to be another great show in the history of Raw. And just as I was typing that out on my notes, Mr. Hughes is scheduled up next versus an enhancement guy. He gets the win, and after the match, he and Harvey Whippleman pose with Undertaker's urn, continuing whatever they got going on there. But next up, what we all have been waiting for, Razor Ramon versus 1-2-3 Kid, aka 6, aka Cannonball Kid. Razor Ramon comes out with the bag of money with him, but the Kid still doesn't know if he wants to go through with it. The match starts when the Kid gets off to a quick pace, gets Razor Ramon into the turnbuckle and lands a sunset pin, then hits a spinning leg kick for a near fall. Razor Ramon then catches a crossbody and hits a fall away slam. The kid again tries to get some momentum but gets a choke slam that folds him in half. Then Razor Ramon is looking to deal some more damage to the kid. Instead of going for covers, they go to the outside where Razor Ramon exposes the cement floor and goes for the Razor's edge, but 123 Kid reverses it and flips him over onto the cement. Then he goes for a move from the top rope to the outside but slips and lands face first onto the cement. I mean, this looked terrible. No way that he didn't get concussed from that move. Then back inside, the kid hits a moonsault that pinned Razor the first time, but this time he kicks out. The kid grabs the bag of money and takes off. Ramon goes chasing after him, but the kid gets in a car and escapes. All this does is upset Razor even more because now he's got even more of a reason to get him back in the ring again. The match either ended in a no contest or a double countout. I still thought this was a great way to extend this just a little bit more. I'm still intrigued as to what happens. I legit do not know where this goes. The only thing I knew from this feud was when 123 Kid beat Racer the first time. I don't know what followed after that, so all of this is actually new content that I'm watching for the first time. So that's going to be it for the episode. Let's get to the awards. For the best moment, I'm going to have to give it to 123 Kid taking off with the money and moving this feud along further. For the worst moment, not much on this episode to complain about, but if I had to pick something, it would be the Steiner just appearing with the belts with no footage of them winning the titles. For the worst match, I'm going to give that to Mr. Hughes versus the Jobber. The best match, because the Kid and Ramon match didn't have a clear winner, I'm going to give this to Doink versus Marty in the 2 out of 3 falls. They pulled off a really fun match, like I said. I'm actually starting to like Doink the Clown a little bit more every single time inside the ring. It actually works for this time. For the wackest performer, I'm going to have to give that to the Jobber in the Steiner match. That fucked up the Frankensteiner move. Come on, bro, you're making the tag team champions look bad. The standout performer, I'm going to give it to the 123 Kid for taking that fall from the top rope onto the concrete and then still being able to finish the match, and the aftermath of grabbing the money and running off. How he still had it in him to remember that spot, to take the money and leave and get in the car. And I think he drove off. I don't think he got in the passenger or anything. He actually drove off. So kudos to 123 Kid for remembering all of that after taking that huge bump off the top rope onto the floor. So for the overall grade for this one, it's going to be an A. That makes it another great show, and that's where the tally is going to go, obviously. And I think the last time that I gave an A grade, it was the show where the first Racer and Kid match happened. So they're basically carrying Monday Night Raw on their back during this year. So yeah, with that being said, I'm done here with this review. I'll catch you next time.